AFC playoff picks, 4 division winners, 3 wild card teams, and talk us through the thought process of it.
All right, let's go. We'll start with the AFC East. I think that's going to be the Buffalo Bills. They're the biggest favorite in the market, minus 300 to win their division. It's April 30th, but that's the gap between the Bills and the rest of the AFC East. I think it's just an easy decision to make. I know the wide receiver room's not sexy, but the Bills, clearly the best team. They have the best player in the division, that being Josh Allen.
We should mention this. They just signed Elijah Moore. Which is not like a massive signing, but like a good underneath receiver. I think someone's like never lived up to his billing as a second-round pick, but I think he's a pretty good player. So Elijah Moore leaves the Browns, signs a 1-year deal with the Buffalo Bills. That happened moments ago.
That's general manager Brandon Beane telling the fans to shove it. Get off my back about this wide receiver stuff, which I actually agree with him about how they approach the draft as well. But that's a conversation for maybe a different day. The AFC North. I'm going to stick with the Baltimore Ravens. It's boring, but I still think Baltimore is clearly the best team. Cincinnati doesn't do it for me to win the division. I think defensively, they still have a lot of weaknesses. Cleveland, that's like a 2026 conversation. Pittsburgh, I like the win total over if they do sign Aaron Rodgers. Don't see the upside for them to actually make a legitimate run to win the North, so I still like the Baltimore Ravens. The South was the one where I really kind of went back and forth. I wanted to get spicy. I wanted to pick something different, but I still think it's Houston. I think they have the best unit in the division, that being their defense. Their defense is going to be nasty coming up this season. Like what they have with the pass rushers, the secondary guys. They brought in Chauncey Gardner-Johnson from Philadelphia in the trade. Like they're going to be really loaded on defense. The offensive line scares me a little bit, but I do think Stroud, best quarterback in the division right now. Let's see what Cam Ward does, but I don't think he's going to be better than Stroud in year one. I still think they have the best coach as well, so I'm going to go with the Houston Texans. AFC West, great division. Chiefs still win it until proven otherwise. I'll go with Kansas City. The wild cards, though, is where we get a little bit spicy. I think the Chargers get back. But the 2 teams that did not make the playoffs last year that I have in the AFC playoffs this year, the Bengals, I think, finally get there. Their offense, I think, finally gets them just into the wild card mixer where they get to the playoffs. I don't see them having a high upside in the playoffs, but I think they make the playoffs. And I'm going to stick to my guns. I think the Las Vegas Raiders make the playoffs this year. I think with Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, and that defense, I think they're so much better than what people think. They've improved vastly in the most important parts of an organization, that being head coach and quarterback. You add in Ashton Genty, a big-time playmaker at running back, year 2 Brock Bowers. So I have Chargers, Bengals, Raiders as my 3 wild cards, and the 4 division winners that we saw last year repeat as division winners once again in 2025.
Okay. The Raiders is going to be the one that will draw consternation from people because I'm playing. It's April. Crazy stuff happens all the time in the NFL, so not a ton is really surprising. I guess it would be surprising if there are some teams that probably won't make the playoffs, right? And we feel like I'd be shocked if the Jets made the playoffs, right? The Raiders making the playoffs is not that crazy. But I think a lot of people hear you say that, Femi, and think, well, they could go over their win total. They could win 7 games, 8 games, 9 games. Why do you like the Raiders more than we could kind of go down the list here? You've left like a couple pretty good teams out in favor of the Raiders. Like, why the Raiders over those teams?
I just think the gap is much closer than what people think. I think right now, today, the Raiders are like a slightly below average team. They're floating around like average in the NFL, we're like the 16th, 17th best team in the league. I think that sometimes we get caught up in wow, the roster is so bad. The roster was bad because they didn't have competent quarterback play. It was also bad because they didn't have competent coaching. Coaching matters so much, and in the offseason, I think there's times and opportunities to buy in on teams that are seen as they're not going to be good, but they have a good coach. We did this song and dance with Minnesota last year. Oh, it's Sam Darnold, and it's they're going to be a 7.5 win total. Great, they won 14 games. That's not going to happen with the Raiders. I don't think it is, at least. But you can see the upside for a team when you improve at coaching and have a good coach, and especially when you improve at quarterback. So I want to buy into the upside at price, obviously factoring into this thing. You tell me life on the line, Raiders make the playoffs or miss the playoffs, yeah, I'd say miss the playoffs. But at price, and I think the team actually, with what they're capable of in comparison to the other wild card contenders, I do like the Raiders to make it because I think Pete Carroll is a winner. He's proven it at all of his previous destinations. I think he's going to win with the Raiders earlier than people think.
I don't have the Raiders in, but I don't hate the pick. It's ballsy, but I like it. You bet on this Wednesday. I will go with, it's boring. Buffalo, I think, is the lock division winner out of all eight.
What's the case for anyone else,
Josh Allen.
Because Drake May turns into a top 5 quarterback. I guess that's the case, maybe.
But also, and Josh Allen gets hurt.
Yeah.
I think you need both things to happen. Otherwise, I think it's Buffalo. I'll be boring also in the North and say Baltimore where I think Cincinnati's upside is higher than Baltimore's, like to go to or win a Super Bowl. But over the balance of a regular season, like John Harbaug's such a better coach than Zach Taylor. I'll take the Ravens to win the regular season at least. Ravens AFC North, Chiefs AFC West, duh. I'll get a little spicy in the South. Give me Trevor Lawrence and the Jacksonville Jaguars. Travis Hunter, Brian Thomas Jr., and the Jags to win the AFC South. I did consider just having it be Houston, but it's April. And I do like the Jaguars a lot this year. So give me Jacksonville to win the AFC South. Wild card teams. Cincinnati. I think the Al Golden hire is going to be the difference here. And if they can get something out of Shamar Stewart, the rookie first-round pass rusher out of A&M, and they're going to have to coax it out of him because he does not have a ton of college production. So that's a bet on like what a freak athlete he is. They can get it out of him, man. Like that's going to be scary. The other two wild card teams. Sean Payton, Bo Nix, and the Denver Broncos get back to the playoffs on the strength of that ridiculous defense. Love the Jahdae Barron pick in the first round. And my final wild card team, Aaron Rodgers and the Pittsburgh Steelers.